Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Spreading the News. Thank you for joining us on this November 10th day where free agency has officially opened. Um, I am your host, Chase, and we are here with Brian,
Free agency has started. Expectations are low. Vibes are high.
as
Uh,
usual. Vibes are always high. Danny, what's going on, buddy?
Vibes are high because the New York Football Giants and the New York Jets are good.
Yeah,
Football season, baby.
That has nothing to do with why the vibes are high. I'm talking about the Yankees. I'm just saying like vibes are high just because vibes are high.
because
Yeah,
when are they
well,
when are they not high?
I
That's
honestly
for
think
sure.
when the Yankees are in the
I
playoffs.
think my mental state has been better since the Yankees. Like I don't have to deal with it anymore. Like I'm just
No, I can get behind that. That
hmm
is something that
right.
I can get
They
behind.
did ruin sports for me for a week. Like there was one weekend
Oh
that I
yeah.
really didn't even watch football. I only
Yeah,
watched the Giants, and they kind of like ruined all the fun and excitement of sports. They ruined fantasy football for me for a little bit, but
I didn't even
The
watch
Yankees
the
did
World
ruin
Series.
baseball
I
for me.
the only thing that I watched from the World Series was I think Game 6. And then like the end of game set or no, sorry.
yep. I mean, congratulations to the World Series champion Houston Astros. It's tough to see, but they deserve it. They deserve it.
Wait, Danny, do you still want them or no?
Yeah, I wanted them. I
Oh yeah.
did we not say that last episode? Did we not
Yeah.
address that? Yeah, I
Well,
want to beat them.
as I said, this is episode 31. Thank you everyone for joining us. This is going to be an interesting episode because we're going to be going over free agency. So this is actually our first time doing a free agency episode because when we started this podcast, it was kind of started once everything was already settled. Um, I think our very first episode was us covering the Donaldson trade, the Donaldson Gary Sanchez trade, which was pretty funny actually to think back on. And now we're all the way here in November where free agency is officially open. And it feels like we haven't been on the mic here in 2 weeks because we haven't. We have not been on the mic in 12 days. So it's good to be back. I'm happy to be back. I hope you guys are also happy to be back. And let's just jump into it. So we're gonna start off with the Yankees free agents. So let's start at the top. Let's start off with Aaron Judge. So Aaron Judge, pending free agent. The Yankees extended the qualifying offer to him today. Obviously, he's not going to accept because why would he? Um, let's do some predictions here. What are you guys? What is your gut feeling based off of initial early offseason reports? What is your gut telling you about what's going to happen with Aaron Judge?
Why that's obvious. The qualifying offer is 19.6 million. Judge is worth double that and more.
Yeah,
I'm still feeling the Judge resigns. 8 for 320, 40 a year. Maybe you could go 8 for 36 a year. But I think he's definitely worth 40 million, and I wouldn't be mad if the Yankees signed him for 40 million, 8 years. Or if you want to give him an extra year and go down to 36 million, that would be fine too. I think he could do that as well. But I'm saying he'll get 8 years, 320.
Brian.
I my gut feeling does think he's going to stay, and I really don't know why I think that, but I can't see him going somewhere else more. I guess is my thing. Whatever the Danny, what you said, the contract, that's fine. Whatever. We know that teams are going to give him whatever he wants. Like are going to give him the big money. The Giants, like said, they won't be outbid. I know we talk about that. Like all these other teams, the Dodgers want to make a run now, and all of that. But the Yankees know that like losing Judge would be bad for them in every sense. Like he's their best player, he's the face of the team. I just don't see them letting him go somewhere else. Maybe if he chooses the same money for just to leave New York, that's different. But I think the Yankees are going to make it their priority to sign Judge.
And I'm in agreement there. I think they are going to make it their priority. I give it like a 75% chance, in my opinion, that Judge returns to the Yankees on a similar deal that Danny noted earlier. Um, I would think the Yankees probably won't go beyond 7 years, maybe 8. Um, so I guess we'll see what happens. We know how the Yankees can be in free agency with how stingy they can be sometimes. But I don't know. I think he's going to return. We got a report today from the San Francisco Giant, coming from the San Francisco Giants, saying that they're not going to be outbid by Judge, pretty much. For Judge, I
For
should
Judge.
say. Yeah, for Judge. They're not going to be outbid for Judge. They are going to break the bank. And if I was a betting man, I would probably say the Giants are going to give the biggest offer because I can't see the Yankees going, you know, to that offer that the Giants are going to give him. And it's just going to come down to pretty much if Judge wants to stay on what we're giving him. So If Judge wants to stay, he'll be back, and I will stand by that. Moving on in the list, we will go to Anthony Rizzo, our lefty power bat, but sometimes not a power bat. Sometimes he can provide you great defense. He can provide you contact, situational hitting. Brian, since Danny started us off with Judge, let's get you to start us off with Anthony Rizzo.
I think they also retain Rizzo. Just a guy that I think they liked. It's one of their guys that they like a lot. They made a trade for him a couple years ago, like at the deadline. And I think Rizzo's been an awesome Yankee. Inconsistent at times, we know that, but like just his presence and like leadership, I think that's. I know the Yankees are an old team. He's an older guy. You want to get younger, but I think Rizzo's another guy you can keep to be like another like leader on and off the field for them. I think they will keep Rizzo. Like they love like his swing for Yankee Stadium. I know we talk about that. Like as the lefty bat he is, lefty power bat, like you said, I think Rizzo stays a Yankee.
Yeah, and another big thing for Rizzo, and probably a reason why he opted out, it's the shift being banned. I saw a stat where Rizzo has the most points taken off his batting average because of the shift. So he's worth maybe over 16 million just as it is now with the shift. But if that stat, if all the advanced stats you believe in all that is true, then he's worth way more than 16 million. So I don't blame him for opting out. I would have opted out, but I think he comes back. I think we need him a lot in our lineup.
Yeah, and I agree with you guys. I think we will see Rizzo back, probably on a I would say 2 to 3 year deal. I'm leaning more towards the short term just because I don't see the Yankees wanting to go 3, because of age concerns. But I do think if the Yankees retain Judge, I think it's pretty much a done deal. We will also retain Rizzo. I mean, we know that those guys are butt buddies. We know that they're best friends. So there's a nickname for them for those two that I'm not gonna say. I don't know if you guys know what I'm
Can't say
referring to.
Jizzo.
Okay, there you go.
Why can't you say Jizzo?
So, I just can't see that bond being broken. So I think we will see Rizzo back in the pinstripes as long as Judge returns himself. We're just gonna keep moving down the ladder. Let's go to Andrew Benintendi. I guess should I start us off with this one since we went? Yeah,
Go ahead.
So if it was up to me, you guys know how much I love Benintendi. He was one of my trade targets back on our trade episode from whenever the deadline was in this over the summer. Um, I hope the Yankees bring Benintendi back. We see already some rumors from Danny. What's the Japanese player's name? What's his name?
Masataka Yoshida.
Yeah, okay. So we're already seeing outfielder rumors that the Yankees are looking to elsewhere. Not that they're looking elsewhere, but that they might be looking at other options, other potential suitors for their outfield. So it makes me a little bit concerned for Benintendi just because I think he's a perfect fit for this lineup. High contact guy, hits great pitching. Like I've always said throughout this podcast, he hits great pitching. Good situational hitter. And he's proven he can hit under the big lights, under the bright lights, I should say. So I hope that they'll bring him back. I think if there's a mutual interest, I think he'll definitely be back. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about Benintendi.
I do think my gut is telling me we'll bring him back as well. I don't want to sound redundant in saying like we're going to bring all these guys back, but it makes sense to bring him back. I did want to bring up Yoshida. If Benintendi is to go, I know they're looking at him as a counterpart to Judge. Last year, 121 games in the Japan League. He hit 336 with a 449 on base, 28 home runs. That's a 1.007 OPS. So he could be also a great replacement for Benintendi, a guy that just gets on base and hits. But I'd rather the proven guy of Benintendi, the proven Major League Baseball player of Benintendi. My gut says they'll bring him back. I would like them to bring him back, but if not, we can find contact guys elsewhere. I don't think we would go out and spend on Nimmo, but he's an option. And then also Masataka from Japan. But my gut tells me we'll just stick with Benintendi because we barely got to see him last year.
Yeah.
I'm also in agreement. I don't like Danny said. I don't want to say they're going to bring everybody back, but we are realistic, and I do think that one makes sense. Like you guys said, when Benintendi was hot and like kind of adjusted to being Yankee, like he was really good. And it sucks that we didn't get to see him in the playoffs. I think he would have helped us a lot. We were excited when they made that trade. That's what we've been needing. I'm just looking at the Yoshida guy. He had like a 9.4 strikeout percentage last year, which is pretty good. That's right where Stephen Kwan was. I mean, that's another option we could go. It seems. I think didn't Cashman say like his priorities were like left fielder?
left field, right field, and pitching. Is what he
Yeah,
said.
that, that. I mean, if you assume right field is Judge, we hope then might Benintendi or Yoshida could be options there. But like again, my gut does tell me Benintendi's going to come back. I want to see a full season of Andrew Benintendi in pinstripes like badly. I think he could be something. He is something that teams missed for a while. And like I said, when he was hot, he was really good, and he's a guy we need in the lineup. And I hope they bring him back.
Yeah, and I like it that you brought up the point about how he was when he was getting going, like he was really good for us. So like it really was a huge injury for us down the stretch there. Um, and the Yankees invested trade pieces into him, so like I feel like that'll make them even more inclined to go and retain him. But we'll see what happens there. Hopefully the Yankees will bring him back as well. Moving down the ladder, we get to Jamison Tyone. So who started us off? I started. Okay, so we'll go to Danny now for the first one.
I don't think Tyone is gonna be back. I don't. I think he had a good enough season last year to demand a decent amount of money, and I don't think we're gonna pay it. I think our rotation right now, as it stands, is really good. I think we have one of the best rotations in the American League. I think right now, if you go Cole, Nestor, Sevy, top three, and then we have Montas, who we hope could come back and be good, and Herman. But Montas is a 4. You're forgetting, like he doesn't have to be ace. He'll be off our 4 after Sevy and Nestor. I know you have the injury concerns with Severino. And then Herman, I love Herman. I think he could be a great 5. I think he could be higher than a 5, but Herman is my 5. I am so confident in that. And then we have Heel coming back, no matter how we still have David Garcia, guys that we can groom. I don't think we bring back Tyone. And I don't really want to bring back Tyone. I like our rotation. I like our pitching.
I agree. I do think Tyone can get a better deal from somebody else. He's valuable. I will miss him if he doesn't come back. I'm a big Tyone guy. I'm definitely not on board with Danny that we have one of the best rotations in the American League. I kind of think it's shaky at best, but we'll see about that. But again, I still also believe that there's not really a spot for Jameson Tyone in the rotation anymore, and that kind of sucks. I did like him. I know he's kind of split of if you liked him or not, but I liked him as a Yankee. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Brian. I'm not going to be redundant. I don't think the Yankees are bringing Tyone back. I just can't see it happening. I can see another team like the Angels or the Giants or someone giving him a nice contract to bring him there because he showed this year that he's a solid pitcher. And I have always gotten on his case the last 2 years that he's been with the Yankees. And this year he proved to me that he's a solid pitcher and he can pitch for you in a big game like he's done for us many times and he can get you a win. So I think a team will be willing to go out and overpay for him. And I don't see the Yankees doing that. So I do not think Jameson Tyone will be a Yankee next year. Moving down the ladder, we get to Matt Carpenter. So this is interesting because obviously, we saw his success when he was healthy with us, but he was miserable in the playoffs and he's an older player. And it really depends on if the Yankees want to shift more towards, I guess, a younger, more athletic bench. Um, Brian, what are your thoughts on Matt Carpenter?
I don't want to bring him back. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. The reason I don't want to bring him back is because, like you said, that's what I was about to get into, is that they need to get younger. And I think Matt Carpenter would be kind of a wasted roster spot that you could have a younger guy as the bench guy because, once again, he doesn't really provide you any versatility. We know he can't play the field very well, like anywhere that you would need. So he would be what he was in the playoffs, like a pinch hitter occasionally. And I just don't think Matt Carpenter has enough gas left in the tank after we saw what he did in the playoffs. We know they threw him in at like an unfortunate time, but I just don't see it anymore. He was fun for a bit. I just think that spot could go to someone else that could help the Yankees out in a lot more ways than Matt Carpenter can at 30 in his late 30s after what we saw in the playoffs. So I don't want him back. I don't think they'll bring him back. Again, that's nothing bad about Carpe. I loved him while he was here, but it's over. I don't think he needs to be on the team anymore.
I agree. I love Carpenter, love his story. We've talked about his story a lot. But yeah, time to go. Really, we had him for not even half a season. We don't know if he's actually that good, and again, he's not getting any younger. So no, I don't think they'll bring him back, and I don't want him to bring him back.
I'm not gonna bore everyone. I'm in total agreement with you guys. I don't want them to bring him back. I don't think they're gonna bring him back. Brian pretty much covered why. And my viewpoints and my thoughts stand true with him. So yeah, I don't think Matt Carpenter will be a Yankee beyond 2022. As we continue to move down the ladder, we get to an interesting one where I can say with 100% certainty that he will not be a Yankee in 2023, and his name is Aroldis Chapman.
Thank
He will
God.
not be a Yankee in 2023. We've spoken so many times throughout the year about Aroldis Chapman. I mean, it's a real shame. It really is because when he was with us in 2016 on that 2016 roster, he was a beast. Arguably the best closer in baseball, but the Yankees traded him. We got Gleyber Torres and Starlin Castro back in that deal. Um, and then he returned to us after he won the World Series in 2016 with the Cubs. So pretty much Yankees traded or they retained him in free agency and he's been with us. He's had some really good moments, some solid years or some really good years, I should say. And this past year was undoubtedly the worst season of his
Don't
career.
don't give a farewell, thank you, Chapman
No,
speech.
that's not
He
what
does
I'm
not
doing.
deserve it.
No,
You
no, no,
just
that's
get
not
him
what
out.
I'm doing.
Thank God. I'm so happy he's not going to be a pinstripes anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, somebody give him a 1 year, 2 year deal. He'll get a deal somewhere.
he
Yeah,
will.
someone's.
Won't be from the Yankees is the point that I'm
He
trying to.
honestly kind of seems like a Met to me. Like the old terrible Ross Chapman does seem very Metish, but we'll see.
No, dude, you know where he's going? Little preview for next week. Tampa Bay.
Oh
He's
yeah,
going to
All
Tampa
right.
Bay. He's going to the Tampa Bay Rays. Anyways, I think we're all in agreement here. He's not coming back. So
I hope he does go in division.
yeah,
Yes,
Let's kill him.
please.
we can
I
move
would
on.
love to have him try to close out games against us.
Danny, why don't you take us through another interesting one here? Chad Green.
Ooh.
I think you got to try to bring him back.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll try. I think you got to try. Yes, but I don't. If they will or not is the question. I think they'll try. Yeah, I think they'll try. Yeah, sure, they'll bring him back. They'll bring him back.
Okay.
Chad Green has been great, obviously, at times, and he's also been very shaky at times. We a lot of highs and lows, but I mean, bullpen arms, you're going to get that this year. He only pitched 15 innings for us before going down with injury at a 3 ERA in those 15 games. Uh, yeah, or 14 games, 15 innings, whatever. I think they will try to bring him back, and I think they should. In 2021, he had a 3.12 ERA in 83 innings. He was awesome for us, one of our best relievers. I think they will try to. I think they'll bring him back, and I want him back. I want him back, and hopefully Michael King could get healthy too.
I want Chad back. I always like Chad. I know he's probably when you get a lot like a large dose of Chad Green, like enough sample size, might be one of those inconsistent guys you'll see. But at his best, he's good, and at the very least, he's depth. Which like I don't know. I know we had injuries and stuff, and some of our best guys weren't there, but in the playoffs, like our bullpen did a good job. I'm not knocking them, but the options we had were not exciting. Like,
Right.
I mean, you have Wandy, whose arm's probably falling off at this point. He pitched like every game in the playoffs, and Glasgow was good. I mean, after that, like, I don't know, like.
Did you say Marinaccio? I mean,
Well, yeah, but he didn't. I was talking about the guys in the playoffs. Like, yeah, that's of
right.
course. Marinaccio, I thought was the best guy in our bullpen.
Clay. I mean,
like,
somehow Clay showed up. Like, I mean, he did.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But
Marinaccio, speaking of him, was like one of my favorite Yankees the whole year. I'm totally like one of his biggest fans, and I'm happy to see. I thought that was probably one of our biggest injury, up to the playoffs. Another guy, just we're talking about the bullpen. I really want to see Greg Weissert in the Yankees bullpen next year. And I'm being serious. I think he really has like A+ stuff that can get outs, like a lot of outs at the major league level. And I think they will give him a shot. I mean, we know he had his struggles when he started because he's nervous, but I think he could be a weapon. I do. So it's another guy to think about.
I'm gonna go against the grain here. I don't think Chad Green is gonna come back. I've seen this episode before where someone's gone down with a significant injury, where Chad Green has obviously had Tommy John surgery. We saw it with Tommy Kahnle. I mean, Tommy Kahnle was a great reliever for us, obviously, and
He's a
he went
free
down
agent.
with. What'd you say?
He's a free agent.
He
Is he
is.
really?
Tommy
Mhm.
Kahnle
But
returned.
he blew the season for the Dodgers though. He did. Anyways,
I mean,
we've seen this episode before. I'm trying to say with Tommy Kahnle where he was more than effective for us. Kahnle was great, but he went down with a season-ending injury, Tommy John surgery. And I just can't see the Yankees taking back two guys in Chad Green and Michael King from two significant injuries and saving them both a spot in the bullpen, especially when they have to pay for one in Chad Green. I just don't see it happening. I would welcome back Chad Green. I've been very critical of him, but I do think, like you guys said, when he is pitching well, he's pitching really well. So um, I guess we'll have to see what happens there. I don't see it happening, but I wouldn't be opposed to a reunion there. So let's keep moving through. Next, we get to Zach Britton,
Please
Zack
God, no.
Britton.
no.
Okay,
Again, with the
three
injury.
no's across the board.
No, with the injury, we're not bringing, like you just said, with the injury concerns. No, he's not coming back. He's not.
Yeah, agreed. And I think Brian's also in agreement because he was the first to say no. Um, so we won't waste any time there. We will go on to Miguel Castro, another guy that they
No.
traded for.
Yeah.
I don't want that. You
Yes.
think do you want him or do you think they will?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd bring him back. It depends on how much we have to pay him. I don't think he'd be worth that much, but if it's a low contract, I think we could use him in our bullpen. He has good stuff. We've seen him be good for us. He's very up and down. He is like just not a consistent guy, but I don't think we would need him in a high leverage situations. I mean, you never know if guys get hurt, but yeah, I would welcome Castro back on a low deal to be solid.
He has good stuff, but he scares me, and I
Definitely
don't.
scared. I mean, I don't want him. I don't want to bring him back in a role to be pitching in the seventh, eighth, ninth inning in a one run ball game. Like that's not what.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess some guys gotta fill the spots, but I would rather not bring him back personally. That's just me.
I'm in agreement with Danny. I think that if they can get him on a low deal, which they will, because he's not going to make any money. I mean, it's not like he's a top end reliever, but I'm willing to take the risk, I guess, for the reward because he's shown that he has good stuff. So I wouldn't be opposed to a reunion there on a cheap deal, which will happen. He'll get a cheap deal. Um, moving on to, I guess, our final free agent. Wow, that was pretty quick. Our final free agent here, Marluz Gonzalez.
Bring him back.
I
Bring
kept
him
him for
back.
last because he's Marluz. I
No.
am just going to say hard no. Goodbye. See you later. Sayonara. Adios, muchacho. It's time for you to go. You were a loser, which is why you earned the name Marluz all season. You were Marloser all season. You're a cheater. You cheated with the Astros in 17, and you sucked after you cheated. Once you left the Astros, you sucked, and now you showed it with the Yankees. So I will not welcome a reunion for you, my friend, or mi amigo. Danny and Brian, what do you guys think about Marlins?
I think that Marwin's going to be very upset when he listens tomorrow and hears that. Here's you talking like him directly that way. But sorry, Marwin, but I totally agree. There's no need to have him back. Like, he provides nothing. Like it's kind of similar along the line of Carpenter. It's just like he's old, and why will we bring him? Like there's no need. So yeah, no.
Yeah, no. I mean, excuse my language, but fuck you, Marluz. I hope he never sees a baseball field again. It makes me laugh every time I go look at it. I'm looking at his baseball reference page right now, and you see MVP 19 in 2017 when they were
Insane.
cheating. It makes me laugh every time I see it. Yeah, but he's never really been a good player. He's been, solid utility guy, sure, but he wasn't that for us. We thought he was going to be that solid utility guy, but he wasn't. He was bad, and I hate him. And
I
I
mean,
hope
you can
Let's
look
go.
at that roster from 2017 of the Houston Astros, and he might very well be their number one product from that cheating scandal. Because, like you just said, Danny, he was in the MVP vote. He got MVP votes that year, and he's nowhere even close to even being. I don't even think the last bench spot on a roster. I mean, he is miserable.
he
He
had a
is
good
a
season that
miserable
year
player.
too. He was really good.
Yeah, no thanks. Goodbye. But we'll see what happens. Those are all the Yankee free agents. Before we move on, though, I wanted to just say one more thing about Judge that I forgot to mention when we were talking about Judge. Also another thing, like I said about Canley and Chad Green, we've seen this episode before where someone came up with the Yankees, almost seemed like a lock that he would come back. We saw it last year with Freddie Freeman, and I think Freddie Freeman even looked more of a lock last year to go to the Braves. So I wouldn't get too comfortable in automatically assuming that Judge is coming back. So money talks, location talks. Judge is from California. He grew up a Giants fan. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Um, and I think that concludes our Yankee free agent segment. If you guys, unless you guys wanted to say anything else before we go on.
Before we go into the big free agent spending, I know, or the big free agents in the whole league, I saw this thing on Instagram of someone talking about, they were talking about the Colts after they hired Jeff Saturday as their interim head coach, which was ridiculous, but not a football podcast. He said that he doesn't believe in fan loyalty. If your team goes out there and just keeps doing the same thing and they don't even try to be competitive, don't root for them. Like, there's nothing wrong with not being loyal to your team because it's like a contract. They owe you to put a product on the field that seems like they're trying to win a World Series, win a championship. So if the Yankees go into this offseason and just go with the same team as they did this year and blame it on injuries and whatever, obviously we're going to be loyal fans, but what do you think about that? You don't have to be loyal to a team if it doesn't seem like they're trying.
Go ahead,
Well,
Brian. Yeah.
first, I mean, I'm gonna be loyal to my team no matter what, but
Obviously, but
I mean, I get like in our last episode, I said if they run it back, how are we supposed to be excited as fans? Like, there's like, how are we supposed to be excited if like they do?
Can't be.
If like we just know how it's gonna end. So like, yeah. But also, I will say like in their minds, they are trying though. You know, like I feel like they think that they're doing like Cashman doing the whole front office like thinks, you know, they're famous saying like the playoffs are a crapshoot, and like as much as we hate to hear that, like part of it might be true. I mean, it's like the Braves winning, the Nationals winning, the Phillies somehow making it all the way to the World Series. Like it's really whoever gets hot, but the problem is that the Yankees are never hot in the playoffs. That's the issue. But no, there's you got to be loyal to your team.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You got to be loyal, but
I know the Yankees aren't the Colts, but
Denny, like you even said with the injuries, like we're already seeing that. Like today, a bunch of Brian Cashman quotes came out of Brian Cashman saying that we were hurt going into the playoffs, that DJ LeMahieu was still an MVP candidate, and that he was hurt for a majority of the season.
no, he's not.
Yeah, like exactly. Like he's like, come on, like DJ's not like I think I can speak for the three of us. We all love DJ, but he's not that DJ LeMahieu anymore when he was in the MVP running, top 3 MVP running. So I think I don't know. I just already see us doing the same excuses. And potentially running it back next year.
You see the Donaldson one that they guaranteed him the third base job pretty much. They basically guaranteed him that he's their starting third baseman.
And that they think that Donaldson still has a lot left in the tank and that he's not far removed from his MVP years, which is
what he's gonna be 38.
Ridiculous.
What from his last season proved that he has stuff left in the tank? What proved that?
I mean, I guess other than his elite defense, because he was an elite defender.
Okay, yeah, but we need offense.
But offense, no. I mean, I didn't see anything last
year. Oh
no,
yeah, the walk-off grand slam against Tampa. There you go.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Keep him because of that.
Yeah. I hope. I mean, that's another guy they got to move on from. I mean, wow. I mean, good lord, put me out of my misery watching him play. You know what's funny? He was so bad in the playoffs, yet he had some of our best numbers in the playoffs. Like that's how bad our team was.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Aaron Judge holds the playoff record for strikeouts. Like you would think that he held the record for the way he played this.
Oh my god.
In this playoffs, I mean, he was. Oh my god, he was a fool. He was.
It was because he had a solid Cleveland series with getting on base and stuff, but the Astros series was horrible.
It was horrible. Similar to, honestly, Edwin Encarnacion from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Encarnacion looked like the second coming of, I don't even know. And then he just disappeared in Houston again in that 2019 series. Why am I talking
about lose?
Why am I talking as loose? um, yeah, got to get rid of Josh. Anyways, we will move on to free agents around the league. Let's. I don't know. How do you guys want to do this?
We could say one guy we want the Yankees first, and then we could kind of make predictions for other guys. One guy we
So,
want to be a Yankee.
so like our number one guy that we all want to be a Yankee. Like
Yes.
our okay. All right, let's do that. We'll start off with that.
All right. Well, mine's easy. It's Trey Turner. We need Trey Turner. We could get him on a. I mean, obviously it's going to be a big deal, but we could get him. Why not? And I think that has to come with the trading of Gleyber Torres. We talked about that. I think Torres needs to go. He needs to be traded. Maybe for like a Sean Murphy, maybe package him to the A's for Sean Murphy. Fix our catcher situation because we definitely have a big need at catcher. We need to upgrade catcher, but I don't think we're going to be doing that in free agency. I think that would more come towards a trade, and Sean Murphy is the guy to go do that. But Trey Turner is the number one guy. Number one. He is exactly what this team needs. Yes, he's the best shortstop in the league, so obviously any team needs that. But imagine getting that production that Trey Turner gave from a shortstop last year. We may have won a World Series if we had Trey Turner. It's that simple. Our shortstop was probably the biggest gaping hole on our roster. I know we had a lot of them come playoff times, but shortstop was the biggest all season. Not only in the playoffs, all season. Shortstop was. And Trey Turner last year, of
For us,
course.
it was not for them, and they didn't admit it until the last game of the season.
Yeah, I know.
That
yeah. Until we were facing elimination, they
Right.
say IKF isn't our guy.
Right.
But Trey Turner, 298 batting average, 809 OPS, 121 OPS plus. Great. He plays solid defense. He could hit for power. He's fast. I think only 131 strikeouts too. I think he's just the guy. He's the guy that if we're trying, we want to be competitive. We want to be the best we can. He would be our best shortstop since Jeter left, by far. By far, we haven't had a. I know we loved Didi, whatever, but come on, he would be the first really good shortstop we've had since Jeter, and that's been a long time.
Brian, who is your free agent target? Actually, well, really quick, I just want to say this is excluding every Yankee free agent. Yeah, this is obviously excluding
No
Judge.
Judge, no Rizzo.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
All right, so naturally, something a guy the Yankees need. Joey Gallo is
yes.
No. I don't. It's hard to pick one guy. Danny's, had the obvious one in Trey, but I just think one of these four shortstops that are available would be a huge success. Trey is the best one. You got Trey Turner, everything. Carlos Correa, Xander Bogaerts, and Dansby Swanson are all free agents. I think you got to go get one of those guys. Like we say this all the time, like be the Yankees. Go be the Yankees. That's a perfect opportunity to go be the Yankees. This is a really good shortstop free agent class. You get one of those top four. That fixes so many issues on the team. Obviously, there are moves that have to be made along with that. You sign one of those four guys and trade. Totally in agreement trading Gleyber. He needs to go. He's run his course here. You have the kids. You have Peraza and Volpe. I think they're ready enough to step into another middle infield role alongside like a big time shortstop like a Trey Turner or Correa or Dansby. I think is like an underrated guy that'd be really, really good. And also, I do think IKF somehow does have trade value across the league, based on things. And I think you could trade him. I can't see that guy back next year. Like that's another guy that's got to go. I would say the same about Donaldson if they hadn't already announced that they love him. But get a real shortstop. But we see they try to do that with the IKF trade. It was the stopgap, different type of player, and we see how poorly that went. So you need to go get a real big time shortstop. Like Danny said, we need Derek Jeter. We need we haven't had a real shortstop since. We need a big time money shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm just worried that they're we want the kids to play, right? But bring Volpe up, play him at second. I think also they should trade one of Peraza or Gleyber. I mean Peraza or Volpe, and I don't think it'll be Volpe. So I think they could trade Peraza and get either a good pitcher or trade him for a catcher or whatever. But yeah, let the kids play, but also go sign a big shortstop. Volpe could play second. Volpe could play third, whatever. But I just hope the kids coming up isn't a reason not to go sign, isn't a reason to not sign a big shortstop, which I think it will be. I think it ultimately will be.
And I'm in agreement with you there. I feel like I've been agreeing with you this whole show. I think it will be. I look through the free agent list. I see your Jacob DeGroms. I see your Justin Verlanders, and as amazing it would be to get one of those guys. Obviously, we're not going to get Jacob DeGrom. Verlander, though, I saw the rumor that the Yankees might be interested in Verlander again, which I would love because he kills us every single year. So it would be nice to have him on our side.
Can't beat him, join him.
Exactly. So yeah, that. But I'm gonna stay with you guys. I'm gonna just stick with the shortstop. I know Brian was a little more broad, saying one of Turner, Correa, Swanson. Brian, did you mention Bogarts? I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those guys I think would be fantastic. It's pretty clear that they have an obvious need there. With obviously, I mean, I'm not gonna say IKF because you guys covered that perfectly, but they have an obvious need, and I'm not necessarily petitioning for them to trade Glaber like you guys are. I like Glaber. I do. I know that he goes through these weird slumps that can pretty much derail his season, but I do think that there's still a chance to salvage what we thought he would have been, which is why I'm not in a rush to trade him. But in when you look at it from the other perspective, what is stopping the Yankees from signing one of these guys? And like you said, Danny, where you stole my point that I was going to bring up, what is stopping them from signing one of these guys and moving Volpe to second and putting Peraza at third? What is stopping them from doing that? You can eliminate Josh Donaldson. You can eliminate Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. You can eliminate Gleyber Torres, who seems like he might not have time left on the Yankees. So I think signing one of these top shortstops should be the absolute highest priority. The class is absolutely loaded, but I don't see it happening. I think they're going to use it as an excuse again. So I guess we're going to have to take it as it comes. But if it was my personal preference of one of these guys to get a shortstop, Trey Turner, yeah, Trey Turner. I mean, or Correa. I mean, I don't want to
I
say.
mean, why does Xander Bogarts wear number 2?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he grew up admiring Derek Jeter. But I mean, the only thing that I want to say about Bogarts though is why he wouldn't normally be at the top of my list is because he's not the strongest defender, and I
Yeah.
think we know that, we've seen that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I'm a big Correa guy, but if Correa was a Yankee, I mean, this dates back to last offseason when we all really wanted him more than anything in the world. I would be a pretty big Carlos Correa guy if he was a Yankee because he's absolutely. I mean, he to me he's a phenom to me. So both on both sides of the field. So shortstop should be the priority. Not sure it'll happen, but we'll have
Yeah.
to take it as it comes.
And
I hate
also,
to bring up
Brian, you go.
I hate to bring up like last year, but we were saying all the same stuff last year about Correa, and look what they did. They went with they didn't spend the money. They got Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and he was one of the worst players on our team last year. They either are gonna stick with that and be difficult, or they're gonna learn. Unfortunately, I'm leaning towards that they're not going to learn. They're going to do what we all dread: is bring IKF back and keep relatively the same roster.
I don't think he's coming back. I don't think
he-
there's
See,
no
you said
way.
like trade IKF. Why even tender him? We're gonna have to give him like a $6 million deal to even bring him back, even if we want to trade him. So why even give him the contract?
There's no way they can bring him back. I mean, you can make the argument that they'll even use fucking Oswaldo Cabrera at short, who's shown that I mean, yes, his career is very early, but he was another miserable player in the playoffs. So like, I'm not comfortable with them even doing that. Which I can even see them using that as an excuse to use him at shortstop. Danny's wiping his head. He's
You know
face
what's
palming right
crazy?
now.
What is insane? They screwed up last year. They fucked up, right? Not getting Correa. Last year I think all three of us were 100%. This was before the podcast even started. We were 100% convinced they were getting Correa or Freeman, pretty much. We were 100% convinced they were getting one of them. 100%. They didn't. They made this trade. We're like, all right, let's see how it works out. It didn't. So now you get something that does not happen. You get a second chance because Correa didn't sign that long-term deal that we thought he was going to. He didn't do it. So now he's back on the market, plus other great shortstops that are on the market. This doesn't happen. You now have a second chance to reverse your mistake from last year. Reverse your mistake. This doesn't happen. Literally, it's throw it out. You could reverse it like it didn't happen. Go do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Beautifully put, Danny. I love that. In fact, who knows? That could be our Instagram clip. Who knows? Go follow our Instagram
Who
at Spread of the
knows?
News. Um, yeah, I mean, it's got to be a priority. Like you said, they have a second chance. I would hope they do it. Don't think they will. Um, I've even seen that they might give Volpe a chance, like at the start of the season. I've seen that on Twitter.
I want him to have a chance. Be our second baseman. Be
Yeah,
our second baseman.
yeah. But then, man, see, I'm just getting all these thoughts at the top of my head. So, say you sign a shortstop, right? And say they trade Glaber. Say they trade Glaber, or even say they don't trade Glaber and they trade Peraza, right? Or even Volpe, I guess. I don't know. What do you do with DJ? What do you do with Donaldson? What do you do
Well,
with now that you're retaining Rizzo? What do you do with Rizzo? Because I would
Well,
think that they want to
we
put
know what we
DJ
want
first.
them to do with Donaldson.
yeah, in a perfect world, DJ plays third, Trey Turner's at short, Volpe at second, and then Rizzo at first. Like
Yeah.
that would. Oh, how good does that infield sound though? Seriously, oh my.
Or even if Volpe's not ready by the Yankee standards, Peraza at second. Like it's just they have options. They have the right thing in front of like they have like we know the right thing. We know it.
Look,
Do that.
I'm
Why
not
can't?
one. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I'm just saying how great it would be if for some reason Donaldson just decided to retire. I mean, he is old and sucks. Like,
Yeah,
Cut him.
it'll never happen
Cut
though.
him. Cut him. I don't care if we have to pay his salary. Cut him. It makes the team better. Because
Look,
you're paying him that money now. He's coming back. You're kind of they're gonna feel obligated to play him every day just because of the money he's making, because of his name, because of what he once was. Just cut him. We did it to A-Rod, and A-Rod provided a shit ton. Like, just cut him. Cut him.
even another thing, like with Trey Turner, say they sign Trey Turner, and let's get a little fancy with this.
Center.
Trey Turner can play center field. So if they find themselves in a situation where DJ is playing well, they keep Glaber, they keep Peraza, they keep all these guys, and they sign Trey Turner. Let's put him in center field. I
But then
mean,
A-Bay.
Abe can play left. Why couldn't Abe play left? Or
But then if you don't, but then you're not bringing back the guys we said. Then you're not bringing back Benintendi. If that's what you're.
if and then getting Trey Turner, I don't know.
Well,
I
no,
think
obviously, but we already said, like you said, with bringing all the guys back, that's not including the Benintendi we said earlier.
you're
You
saying
said
like,
if we bring all the you just said if we bring all these guys back.
well, I meant in terms of the infield, like
Okay,
Glaber, Peraza, Donaldson. Um, obviously, if that happened and they moved into the outfield, then Benintendi would not be coming back. But or maybe who knows, Josh would be coming back. I mean, who knows? But look, Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, Xander Bogarts. I'm missing two more. Who are
Dansby
the other two?
Swanson?
Dansby Swanson, and there's one more, right?
No, Elvis Andrews.
No, yeah, Elvis Andrews. Look,
Edie.
those are four guys that can be a franchise cornerstone for your team. Little MJ shrug, a little MJ
it's
shrug.
frustrating too because they have so many options. Like you can miss out on Trey and get Correa. You can miss out on Correa too and get Bogarts. You can miss out on Bogarts too and get Dansby. Like, but will they do
It's
it?
so obvious. It's so obvious that they won't do it.
Yeah, they always make the non-obvious move. It's embarrassing. It really is. Um, I guess
But
I guess. Yo, go ahead.
no, we need. I was gonna say we could look at the pitcher route if we don't get one of the shortstops, but I just don't see how shortstop can't be the priority. Again, I'm very confident in our rotation. Yeah, I would love if we went out and got a Rodon. We got Verlander. I don't think DeGrom. Whatever. I don't think we would ever get DeGrom too much money, and I wouldn't even really want them to pay that much money for him. But I just don't see how they can't get a shortstop. Like it's the most pressing need on the whole entire team. Our rotation. You look at last year and you project for next year. The big glaring hole was shortstop. That's like our rotation wasn't it. We're shortstop.
We've spoken so many times about the shortstop position. It's becoming like exhausting that the Yankees will not make the obvious move. Um, it's embarrassing. It's depressing. It really is. And I find myself right now revisiting to the moment when Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was traded to the Minnesota Twins, and I was rejoicing with our good friend Nick Stanko. I was rejoicing with him as the trade happened because we were with each other. We hugged each other when that happened because we thought that was a lock that Carlos Correa was going to be Yankee. What did the Yankees do? The Yankees went out and traded for Isaiah Kiner Falefa and let Carlos Correa go to the Minnesota Twins, who just traded for Isaiah Kiner Falefa. They
And
always make the non-obvious move. They never make the obvious move.
the Twins took the Yankees for a ride last year because then they made the Yankees take IKF and Donaldson's contract
Yeah.
so they could sign the top free agent that the Yankees were supposed to sign. Really, the whole year was embarrassing, I guess, from start to finish because I was embarrassed after that happened, and I'm still here at the end of the year embarrassed. So, don't do that again if you guys are listening.
If you're listening, my favorite quote that I think back to, I think it was in our first episode. Brian coined it a front office clinic the Twins ran on the Yankees. And yeah, it held true. We said it then, and it held true now. It's 9 months later. How many ever months? I don't know that math. But this many months later, it's still a front office clinic was had against the Yankees. And again, like I said, we don't see second chances happen ever or very often. Now we have one with an even better crop of guys that we could go out and get.
We could have probably signed Dansby Swanson with the money that we're giving to Hicks and Donaldson.
Yeah, well, I think
that's
they gotta
another
get
thing, though. That's a great.
They gotta
point.
trade Hicks.
That's a great point. They can offload Hicks. You can attach prospects. You can offload Hicks. You can attach prospects. You can offload Donaldson. You can offload all these guys, and you can free up. I think
Donaldson would be harder.
North of $50 million they could free up.
We're gonna have to eat if we were to do that, we're gonna have to eat money. We'd have to eat money.
But you can attach prospects and you can do that. Like teams do it all the time. They do it all the time. That's what the Padres did with what's his name? Eric Hosmer to trade him to the Red Sox. The Red Sox gain prospects to eat up the salary.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that? Why can't we go out and fix our glaring need that has hurt us since 2017? Those 4 shortstops that we listed would help us in a way that we haven't seen since Derek Jeter. Why can't we go out and do that? Why can't we make the lineup decisions and the moves that these teams all around the league, I shouldn't say all around the league, but like the top contending teams make every single year? Why can't we follow suit and do that to finally make ourselves a chance to contend?
Sometimes because we have Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman. They don't.
Sometimes it's even simpler than that. When you have a kid, let him play. Jeremy Pena won World Series and ALCS MVP this year.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we had Peraza on the roster. Why would you not use it? It just doesn't make. There were just so many moves that didn't make sense from this past season. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, and the fact that Brian Cashman is coming back and Aaron Boone is coming back, it's mind-boggling.
I made the case last week or last episode. Cashman over Boone should have gone. We saw Boone come back, and maybe there was a slim hope that Cashman might be gone even with Boone back, but did not happen. And I'm sad.
Yankees will end up with Jonathan VR.
No, Elvis Andrews, dude. Elvis Andrews is gonna be our shortstop.
Matt Duffy. Matt Duffy's a Yankee. Matt Duffy.
I'm afraid to tell you guys who else is a free agent shortstop. I'm sure. Do you know?
Oh, I know. Andrelton Simmons. I saw it before.
Yeah, he is.
Jose Iglesias, Didi Gregorius, all these guys that are perfect fits for us. Let's do it.
Anyways, I don't know if you guys still want to go through. We could do the top 3 at the position if you guys want and what we think will happen.
I mean, a little breaking news. Jacob deGrom has informed the Texas Rangers he is interested in signing with them.
Really?
That would be kind of cool.
There's also some good news. Also, some good Yankee news that Ji-Man Choi is now out of the division.
Yes.
To the Pirates.
Yes. For a minor league pitcher.
Yeah, that's good news.
Honestly, I'm all for deGrom going to Texas. I want to see the Rangers succeed. I'm all for it.
Why? Because you had them in MLB The Show franchise?
MLB The Show 20 franchise. I want to see the Rangers succeed.
I've been hearing Danny speak about this MLB The Show Texas Rangers franchise since
I was in 2045. I was in 2045. We were awesome.
Insane. It's insane. Texas Rangers for deGrom. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
I mean, they've made splashes last year with the Seager and Simeon. They could do it.
They got the cash, that's for sure. And also, I guess Is Jack Flaherty coming up? Or not Jack Flaherty? What am I saying?
Jack
Oh my god,
Flaherty,
that's embarrassing.
Jack Leiter,
Jack Leiter.
Leiter.
Jack Leiter. That's
I feel like,
embarrassing. Is he coming up this next
they
year?
also have Kumar Rocker. I don't know if would Leiter be ready
Probably
this
another
year?
year for Leiter.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I could.
Well, we're talking about the New York Yankees, not the Texas Rangers. So
Yeah, but it's free agency. It's a event.
what is stopping the Yankees from going out and getting Jacob deGrom? What? Someone tell me what is stopping them from going out and getting Jacob deGrom? Brian, what do you think?
He probably wouldn't sign with the Yankees. They think it's best to
No, he wouldn't sign with the Yankees.
somewhere else.
Think about it.
Jack
The Mets
Leiter
are
last
think
year
about
had
it.
a-
The Mets are better than us. That's number one. Number two, why would if he's gonna sign with the New York team, might as well go back home. You know,
Yeah.
if they're gonna pay him too.
Well, you just answered your own question. You're asking me. It seems like you have the answer.
It's a really good point by you there. You know,
Yeah,
we've made
thanks.
some really good points today. I'm really proud of us, except for my Jack Flaherty comment.
yeah, Jack Flaherty.
Look, make sure to stay tuned for next week. I guess we're gonna skip out on the free agent talk that we were gonna go through here.
We
got a
another one
whole
next week. We've been
offseason.
saying every other week. Let's do it next week.
We got a whole off season. We
We
got
do
time.
have a whole off season. Make I guess next week. Next week, how about this? Next week, the three of us, we will
We'll come prepared with.
come prepared with our off season wish list, and we will present it to each other, similar to the way that we did the trade deadline.
Okay.
Like we
What
don't
about
need to.
predictions for other players? Come
We
on.
could do
I
that
feel
next.
like
We
we'll
could
have-
do that next week too. So we could do like those are our first two segments, or if those are the two segments for the week.
Mhm.
We could do that. So stay tuned for next week for free agent predictions around the league and what we want our New York Yankees offseason wish list. Hopefully the Yankees won't. I mean, I guess if I want them to make a significant move by then, but hopefully they won't have done by then, so that we could do our episode on time. And guys, again, another thing, since it's the off season, emergency pods are going to happen for us.
Yes.
So make sure to even stay tuned for a potential emergency pod if Aaron Judge signs at midnight. We're gonna have to hop on. We're gonna have to figure something out.
We could do it on our phone wherever we are. Get on.
Yeah,
get
we
on
could
a
do it.
phone.
We could FaceTime. We could just screen record it. We could just do that. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Spread in the News, on TikTok at Spread in the News, on Twitter at official STN Pod. And subscribe to our YouTube if you're watching on there. Yeah, I don't know. I had a little brain lapse there. This has been Chase.
Brian.
Danny.
Thank you all for listening. Let's
Go
go
Yanks.
Yanks. We'll see you next week. Hopefully on some good free agent news. Peace.